book one until now, the book's gonna read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's a speaker in cybersecurity, AI, innovation, and public speaking, no other than Dr. Sadiq Nasir. Welcome, Dr. Sadiq on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
All right. Hello, Daniel. I'm happy to be here. So, like you said, my name is Sadiq Nasir. I'm based out here in Nigeria. So, I founded this technology company called NetSwitch. So, over the years, we've been able to provide public sector and private sector solutions to pressing problems that might affect them. And over the years, we've done so many projects around cybersecurity. We've done projects around policy development, and that's what we do from the company. Some of the things that we do from the company side, and then also I am a keynote speaker, and I also facilitate in workshops. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Dr. Sadiq, thank you. And today let's talk about cybersecurity, AI, and innovation. It said that AI is the new attack surface. Cybersecurity is the immune system, and the innovation is the evolutionary pressure. How does you see this triad functioning in real world?
Well, over the years, cybersecurity has constantly and continuously evolved, and that's why it's referred to as the emerging field. Means it's not fully saturated at the moment. Then came in AI. AI is making the entire process of everything a lot more seamless. So, to give you a specific example, in those days, it used to be fairly easy to tell a fraudulent email from a real email. So, but with the emergence of AI, it's extremely difficult to tell the difference now. And the reason for that is in those days, we used to have emails that were poorly written. But right now, all the threat actors need to do is just to compose the emails using AI, for example, and then the email can pass most tests, and then they can fish their victim. That's on the negative. On the positive side, AI is actually advancing. AI is bringing about different advancement. For instance, it's helping the good guys track viruses. It's helping the good guys to look at the networks and the system and study what are the abnormalities in order to be able to flag, which a few years ago it was a lot more difficult, largely because most of these processes were done manually. But with advancement of in the space of AI, it's becoming more difficult to for the threat actors to just get away with things. But the thing is just to be aware of what are the trends. How do we keep our network safe? Because the basic fundamentals remains the same, even though that the threat actors might use different AI solutions to accelerate their attacks.
Interesting, Dr. Sadiq. So, the asymmetry of innovation, offensive AI capabilities, uh, why there is asymmetry, and what is the fundamental shift is needed to let defenders innovate faster?
Yeah, for the teams that defend networks, there are various skill set that they need to acquire, and some of the skill set remains pretty much the same. So, for instance, when you talk about innovation, a lot of people think that innovation is literally just coming up with something fantastically new, which is not necessarily true. So innovation is what innovation is in the most simplest form is actually making an addition to something that already exists, or perhaps modifying a business process, or perhaps modifying a specific product. So when we look at cybersecurity, when we look at the defense of a network, it's important for the teams that are building this protective systems or the network to be able to have an innovative process of thinking, because innovation helps us to come up with solutions that are not are novel in some ways. So, for example, every country has its own peculiarities when it comes to cybersecurity threats. So, to give you an instance, in Nigeria, mostly the threat actors revolve around taking money from people. So this can be in form of SMS. This can be in form of WhatsApp calls. This can even be a virtual call where they call you and then they make a request. But the fundamentals remain the same. So it's important for the teams that are building these innovative solutions to have an idea of what does it even take to be innovative. That's the first question any team need to ask themselves. Having AI makes life easy, but for teams to evolve, they need to have the basic fundamentals of innovation. So now let's look at what are the skill set around innovation. Number one, every team that is developing a protective system within the domain of cybersecurity need to have communication skills. Communication skills sounds very basic and fundamental. However, without the without effective communication, it makes innovation very, very difficult. Okay, then we have the next concept of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is actually a very, very key concept that has a lot to do with innovation. So for instance, you're building a product for a specific segment of the market. Without emotional intelligence, being able to deep dive into the empathy being of the client, being able to understand the customer's persona, you might just be building a product that perhaps might not better be suited for your clients. So that's why some of these basic skill set I've mentioned, some call them power skills, some call them soft skills. But at the bottom of it all, these are the fundamental skills that every team needs to master. Once they master them, then they can actually build solutions that are bespoke, solutions that are best fit, solutions that can actually solve real life problems. Because a major problem that exists when you look at the trajectory of problems around the world, they tend to vary from one country to another. Some countries, the cybersecurity issues are around hacking of bank accounts. They're around political hacktivism. This situation whereby an individual or group hacks into a system of an organization just to demonstrate their capacity and to also to demonstrate their political ideology or alignment. So it's important for any team that is developing these defensive solutions to be able to understand who are they building these solutions for? What are they trying to protect? When they have this knowledge or they have this basic understanding, then they can now incorporate all these basic skills in around innovation to see how they can build solutions that can scale, solutions that are best fit. Because the dynamics in cybersecurity keeps changing, whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not. But it's important that as we are building solutions that are innovative, as we are building solutions that are 21st century, we need to build them with the customer in mind, solutions that can scale, solutions that are applicable. Thank you.
So, Dr. Sadiq, many see AI in cybersecurity as just a super powered automation, faster alerts, automated patching. Where are you setting truly generative or predictive innovation, where AI is not just speeding up tasks but creating entirely a new defense paradigms?
Yeah, AI is. Sorry, can you repeat the question so that I properly understand it?
Yeah, so
You're talking about.
many see AI in cybersecurity is just a super powered automation. Make
Yeah.
it faster, alerts, automated patching. So Where are you seeing truly generative or protective innovation where AI is not just speeding up tasks but creating entirely a new defense paradigms?
Yeah, AI is we need to look at when we talk about AI, we need to look at the construct of AI as a concept that enables us to do our jobs very well. So AI should be embraced with the view that it's a complementary skill set, because there's this preconceived assumptions that, oh, AI would do everything. Once we have the standard AI running, it's going to automate everything end to end. Sure, it's true when you look at the concept of agentic AI and whatnot, but the truth is, AI is supposed to complement our efforts. So when we are building when we're building business processes that will be automated with the advancement of AI, it's good to look at it from a holistic point of view, from a tool standpoint. So to give you a specific example, AI, when we look at generative AIs, sometimes some things around the chat GPTs and others around that spectrum, what they do is the better the quality of your prompt, the better response you get. So as long as there isn't enough data to feed into these AI solutions, enough data that is clean, that is in nature, we would always have issues around hallucinations, issues around the skipping of some of these processes that need to be done. So the summary of it all is AI is here to stay. AI is to complement our current work, but we should not give everything hook, line, and sinker, because even though the paradigms are changing, the work process automations are changing with AI, we should not give it all. There needs to be that human check, because humans are some of the way humans think is some of the most advanced beyond any other species. So when we defer all judgment, defer all thinking and processes to AI, it creates so many unseen problems. Just for to give you a specific context, I was watching a couple of videos on automated cars in China. Okay, and these cars were driving and then they just veered off the road, and then when they reached specific spots where the road was barricaded, the cars just ran through the pass. This is not a problem with the AI around the cars and the machine learning. No, it's a process of learning for the machine itself. It's a process for learning for the humans. So what I'm trying to say here is, as much as these cars have been built to be able to navigate the streets, they need to be constantly monitored and watched for feedback, because the problem lies in when you have a new challenge and the AI is not able to navigate it, it will do what it's programmed to do by default. So my point is, we should always use AI as a tool to enhance our work. Thank you.
Let's talk about the human firewall evolve, Dr. Sadiq. With
Yes.
AI in the loop, what is the new non negotiable role of the human cybersecurity professional? What must they become? Strategies, AI trainer, or ethical overseer, or to stay central in the AI augmented SOC?
All right. The concept of human firewall is an important aspect within the domain of cybersecurity. The reason for that is, you might have all the technological solutions deployed and everything else, but if you don't take care of the human element, it can be the weakest link. So there are a number of strategies that should be or that can be implemented when it comes to cybersecurity. So for instance, there is need to have constant cybersecurity awareness in terms of training, even for the professionals. Okay. So all the professionals, they probably know what to do when it comes to cybersecurity. For example, they know not to click on links, but it's important to engage them in a training exercise. This can be done annually, best advice. Okay. And then a layer above that is where we do simulations, where we simulate to see if the the cybersecurity professionals or the target subjects are aware of this knowledge. Where you test them with you test their knowledge. Sometimes you test them without knowing. Sometimes you can test them with knowing. But it's best works when you don't plan the, when you don't when they're not aware that it's going to be a test. And then when they fail the test, rather than punishing them, you now re-educate them and say, okay, look, based on the training that we it shows the research that we've done shows that you have failed the test, and there's need for you to have constant awareness, that this reminder to serve as an awareness campaign for such organizations. Because the problem is, when it comes to cybersecurity, when it comes to human and learning, human beings are at different status and different stages in life, and even when they're at work, they're at different cognitive and like mental presence, emotional presence. There are so many things that affect us, but with this constant simulation and training, it helps to align the human factor, that's the human subjects, to the core of the organization when it comes to cybersecurity. And that's one of the most effective ways to ensure that organizations are safe. Like I said, organizations spend a lot on cybersecurity infrastructure, which is good, and there's need to constantly spend a lot of money, investment in time and whatnot, to ensure that everything is up to date. However, the human firewall, that's a human element, is a very critical, non-negotiable factor in cybersecurity, and this can be best harnessed with cybersecurity awareness trainings. Thank you.
Dr. Satiq, let's talk about the positive vision. Beyond defense, paint a positive picture. How could the powerful combination of AI and cybersecurity actually enable transformative innovation in healthcare, finance, smart cities, by creating the trust layer that makes radical data sharing and automation possible?
Um, when it comes to the um, domain of AI cuts across every sector of the economy, every sector, every industry. AI has found its various application, and a key important factor for the humans that's using this AI, they need to understand that we can trust AI. However, AI is a complementary thing. Okay, so like the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. So in order to understand the best sorry in order to understand the application of this AI, we need to understand, okay, what business processes are we trying to automate? What's the future? What are the opportunities? Okay, once we've done this 360 evaluation, then we can now look at how do we effectively deploy these AI solutions. I've seen in research that a lot of these new solutions in the last 2 3 years that were deployed to various organizations, there has been mass failure. And the reason for that mass failure is centered around lack of objectivity, lack of understanding the objective that we're trying to achieve. Okay. So, first of all, we need to understand what is this we're trying to achieve with AI. Okay. Then, which part of these processes can we automate? Okay, once we've done that, then we can now do it in phases. Simply because we have a solution that can do your business process automation, HR, accounting, everything else, doesn't mean that you should incorporate it all in one go. One, there is a financial aspect. Assuming you can pass the financial, you can afford it. Secondly, you need to ensure that these AI solutions can actually incorporate well with your business processes. So, in order to do that effectively, my thinking from my experience is to do this in a modular form, where you break the process into phases, and as you deploy the solutions, you're actually monitoring feedback, monitoring how the users of the system respond to the system. Because if you don't do that, number one, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Number two, it's going to affect your entire business process. And going back to fix the bugs, fix the issues, can be a costly mistakes. So the best thing to do is to deploy the solution in phases, with a view that you've understood the current business process that you want to automate, and then see how AI can help mitigate that gap. Thank you.
Dr. Sadiq, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, Abstract Poverty in the third season, and of course, my book 101 review in its sixth season as well, Comedy 101 third season, and my Food 101 in sixth season as well, Geography 101 Love Letters, Movie 101 Review, Music 101 of fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101, fourth season, and my baby podcast, Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and of course, my Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Dr. Sadiq, given all this, if you could have every leader in tech, government, and business internalize one principle about navigating the next 5 years of cybersecurity, AI, and innovation, what would the principle be?
Hmm, it's a deep question right there. It's a deep question. So if I could get all the leaders together, have conversations around them, I would say that AI is a future, but AI is just a tool. We need to really understand it. There's a lot of predictions around what would happen in 5 years, what would happen in 10 years. And the truth is, a lot of these predictions are perhaps based on speculative fundamentals that people have different assumptions at what AI could do, what AI cannot do. And the reason I say this is when ChatGPT came out, that's when the real conversations around AI actually started. But the truth is, AI has been there long before then. Okay. And then we have so many different vendors releasing different products. And some of these products, when they come out, they actually change the entire industry. So the point I'm saying is, it's not really a conversation. It's not about AI. The conversation is about humanity. Where do we see humanity in the next 5 years? Where do we see humanity in the next 10 years? Once we're able to identify our specific goals and strategic objectives, then we can begin to have real conversations as to how can AI take us there, as much as building policies around AI. Right now, a lot of organizations, a lot of countries are beginning to build AI policies around how AI should be done, carried out, the AI governance, which is good. But like I said, AI is for humanity, AI is for mankind. So we need to build every single AI policy, every single AI governance strategy or framework around humanity. Where do we see humanity in the next 5 years? Where do we see humanity in the next 10 years? I think that would be the subject of conversation when I meet with such leaders. Thank you.
So, Mr. Sadiq, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or your business, or anything you want to promote on Book 101 Review? Mr.
All right.
Sadiq, would you
Yes.
like to promote
Coming.
something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm available for any keynote speaking or any training facilitations around cybersecurity awareness, AI for productivity, and basic trainings around leadership. So these are my core, and I'm available for such trainings. And more can be found on sadiqnasir.com.
Yes, and I have one more question, Mr. Sadiq. Can you please recommend a book of books that influence your
Yes,
journey?
please.
So, what are can you
Um,
please recommend?
there have been so many books. Yeah, there are so many books that I've read over the years that have influenced me. So, just off the cuffs, I would like to recommend, or rather say that Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends, is a very, very good book that focuses on the fundamentals of human interaction. So, if you can get that book, do give it a read. I've applied some of these principles throughout my career, and I find it to be very, very wonderful.
Indeed. And Dr. Sadiq, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Danny. Have a
Maricon
great day,
people,
man.
see you soon.